the largest and most diverse island in the Caribbean, with rivers, tropical rainforests, waterfalls, underground caves, mountains, valleys, and over 300 beaches. Fantastic. Miles and miles of sandy beaches. So beach lovers will be in paradise, with sea temperatures of around 24 to 28 degrees. And it's all waiting for you. This island is becoming one of the hottest tourist destinations in the world. And Varadero is the #1 tourist spot. You just have to look around the island to see why. Yes, this resort is a tourist dream. But so too are the resorts in Holguin, Cayo Coco and Cayo Largo, to name just a few. There is everything here in Cuba for a first-class holiday at these resorts. You'll find the resort hotels are of the highest international standards everywhere you go in Cuba, and you're made to feel most welcome. Everything is on hand for your comfort, enjoyment, and relaxation. For the active, children, teenagers, you can relax and be pampered. 95% of the hotels have a doctor to look after you. You can eat well and be entertained. If you want to get married in paradise, wedding ceremonies can be arranged at most hotels. There are many attractions within easy reach of the hotels for tourists, like marine parks, where you can not only see dolphins perform, but you can swim with them too. It's wonderful. And if golf's your thing, play around on the world-class courses designed both for professionals and beginners. And in the evenings, you can salsa on the beach while you watch the sun go down. But there is much more to Cuba than fabulous beaches, because away from the beaches, you'll find an incredible amount of nature and wildlife to enjoy. They've even got crocodile sanctuaries. There are eco-tourist attractions in areas like Cayo Coco, a bird watcher's paradise. Here you'll find exotic birds and wildlife. There are cities waiting to be discovered too, like the vibrant city of Havana. Santiago, Cuba's second city, the city of rum, rhythm and revolution. Matanzas, the city of bridges. Or Cienfuegos, with its French influence. There are fabulous city hotels, like the Union in Cienfuegos. And in Havana, you're spoilt for choice. So many top-class hotels. The most famous, the Nacional, where anybody who's anybody has stayed. Movie stars past and present. Cuba was discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1492. Now this is a statue of Christopher Columbus, and apparently he was really excited when he landed in Cuba because he thought he was in India, and he brought with him a huge cross. Columbus would have been met by the Taino Indians who inhabited the island. Today there are ceremonies, several archaeological sites and museums you can visit. After the arrival of the Spanish, the Tainos were all but wiped out. Now there are Spanish influences everywhere. The architecture all over the country is stunning. Everything from colonial, Baroque, Moorish to Art Deco. They're all absolutely beautiful, especially in Trinidad, an architectural gem. Trinidad has been heralded a living museum. The town itself has been beautifully preserved. It's like stepping back in time. It's quite unique. And it's been designated a World Heritage Site. So too has Old Havana, with its beautiful squares. And there's a tremendous amount of restoration work being carried out to restore the buildings back to their former glory. This is the oldest house in Cuba, and it's now a museum. There are dozens of museums right across Cuba, in castles, palaces, museums about their revolutions. The one in Santa Clara has a particularly interesting display. Che Guevara actually drove that bulldozer to wreck this train. 3 days later, Fidel Castro took control of the entire country, and Che Guevara became a hero of the Cuban people. Now his portrait dominates Havana's Revolution Square. The Capitolio building in Havana is also a museum, and it's bigger than its equivalent in Washington. Here you'll find the largest bronze statue in the world. There are many beautiful churches all over Cuba, some ancient with stunning architecture, some modern. There's also a strong African religious influence here too. The Cubans are proud of their heroes, and there are statues of them everywhere. They also commemorate other people's heroes. Princess Diana's here. Yes, John Lennon in a park in Havana. Well, I never. When you travel around Cuba, you realize just how safe and virtually crime-free the country is. And the people are so friendly and welcoming. They're fun-loving too. Yes, they do know how to enjoy themselves. The Cubans have their own unique way of getting around. On horses, bikes, lorries, in camel buses, and of course, 50s classics. In Havana, you can hire one of these classic cars to sightsee. It's a great way to see the city. Or hire a modern car. But the most common way for the tourists to get around from the time they arrive is by air-conditioned luxury coaches, all with high health and safety standards. It's a little-known fact that Cuba was the 6th country in the world to have a railway system. The trains were used to carry the sugarcane to the factories, but nowadays they're used as a tourist attraction as well. Waters around the island are perfect for diving. They're unpolluted and clear. That's why experienced divers flock to diving centres, which also offer courses for beginners. The waters are also ideal for sailing, and there are many international marinas where you can moor your yacht or take part in the fishing tournaments. The Cubans are proud of their culture and are lovers of art. You'll find paintings, sculpture, street entertainment, music, singing. They put on classic plays in magnificent theatres and produce world-class performers like ballet dancer Carlos Acosta. There are restaurants galore in Cuba, some traditional, some very elegant, serving a wide variety of dishes. And the restaurants in the larger hotels have international menus catering for all tastes. Cuba is known for its rum and cocktails, and bars serve them day and night. Tourists flock to this crowded bar in Old Havana for their mojitos, which were made famous by the author Ernest Hemingway. But apparently it was Al Capone who invented the mojito, but it was Ernest Hemingway who made it famous in this very bar. Now you'll find it on every cocktail list right across the world. Cheers. This is one of the many shops in Havana where you can buy the finest cigars in the world. You can also visit cigar factories to see them being made. No, they're not rolled on the thighs of maidens. Cuban nightlife is legendary, and there are many clubs and discos for you to dance the night away. And you won't be disappointed if you visit the famous Tropicana nightclub. It'll be a night to remember. Each year in July and August, there are spectacular carnivals in Havana and Santiago, which shouldn't be missed. Yes, Cuba is waiting for you.